Unified Architecture Framework, UAF. Architecture Modeling with UAF Workshop, a 2 days training from Tonex. With UAF you can capture your architectural vision. Build reliable, well-understood systems using UAF 1.0 and Enterprise Architect. Incorporated within Enterprise Architect 13, the Unified Architecture Framework, UAF, provides support to specific frameworks, such as DoDAF, MODAF, UPDM, NAF and others. Support of UAF is built into Enterprise Architect, with provision to migrate up from UPDM 2.1. The Unified Architecture Framework Profile, UAFP 1.0, Beta 1, is also implemented within Enterprise Architect support of UAF. Full functionality for UAF is automatically available to all end users with a valid UPDM plugin or Enterprise Architect Suite Edition license. This is committed to standards development. Since early 2008, Tonex Systems has provided support of DoDAF and MODAF standards, with model-based systems engineering, MBSE, best practices at the core of Enterprise Architect. Tonex Systems' commitment of standards continues with full UPDM 1.0 support in 2010, now at UPDM 2.1. Today, UAF 1.0 integration in Enterprise Architect 13 further demonstrates our dedication to systems engineering. Enterprise Architect can be used to specify operational capabilities, services and interactions between complex systems, as well as trace systems to strategies and organizations to verify architectural completeness. Harness the best practices derived from historical support of DoDAF, MODAF and UPDM, to develop well-formed models with clear separation of stakeholder concerns. Because of increasing complexity and rising costs, it is important to ensure that systems that are being developed can talk to each other and meet the overarching capabilities that they were intended to achieve. UAF architecture modules provide a means to develop an understanding of the complex relationships that exist between organizations, systems, and systems of systems and enable the analysis of these systems to ensure that they meet the expectations of the user community. Learn about replaces the unified profile for DoDAF and MODAF, UPDM, ver. 2.1. Easily migrate existing models from UPDM to UAF. UAF model templates with context-sensitive modeling to maximize productivity. Model validation to help ensure consistency and correctness. Easy navigation of architecture diagrams in the dynamic model views window. Dedicated UPDM toolbox. Out-of-the-box support in Enterprise Architect, no separate download required. Course objectives. Create architectural models for complex system of systems, which may include hardware, software, data, personnel and organizations. Define consistent, accurate architectures with clear separation of concerns to describe services, systems, operations, strategies and capabilities. Analyze, specify, design, and verify system modules using appropriate levels of abstraction. Employ a rigorous, standards-based approach to defining and exchanging architecture information using UML, XML and related standards. Course outline. Overview of architecture frameworks. Overview of Object Management Group Registered, OMG Registered, Standardization. Introduction to Unified Architecture Framework, UAF. Working with Unified Architecture Framework, UAF. Introduction to Unified Architecture Framework Profile, UAFP. Scope UAF 1.0, Unified Architecture Framework Profile, UAFP. Developing models with UAF and UAF. Overview of Architecture Frameworks. Department of Defense Architecture Framework, DoDAF, 2.02. Ministry of Defense Architecture Framework, MODAF. Security views from Canada's Department of National Defence Architecture Framework, DoDAF. North Atlantic Treaty Organization, NATO, Architecture Framework, NAF, v3.1. Best practices derived from historical support of DoDAF, MODAF and UPDM. Well-formed models with clear separation of stakeholder concerns. Grid approach for NATO Architecture Framework, NAF 4. Why the grid? Overview of Object Management Group Registered, OMG Registered, Standardization. Unified Modeling Language, UML Registered, 2.0 Standard. Systems Modeling Language, SysML Registered, Standard. SysML v1.4 Profile. Unified Profile for DoDAF and MODAF, UPDM, 2.1. Basics of Unified Architecture Framework, UAF. Introduction to Unified Architecture Framework, UAF. What is the AF? Value proposition of AF. AF and representation of an enterprise architecture. AF and specific business, operational and systems of systems integration needs. Developing models. Systems engineering, SE, technical processes. Associated AF metamodel. Architecture data exchange between related tools. Working with Unified Architecture Framework, UAF. Operational capabilities. Services and interactions between complex systems. Tracing systems to strategies and organizations. Models to verify architectural completeness. Support for additional viewpoints beyond those defined in DoDAF, MODAF, MODEM, NAF, and the security viewpoint from DAF. Introduction to Unified Architecture Framework Profile, UAFP. AF 1.0 Supporting Capabilities. Model architectures for a broad range of complex systems. Representation of hardware, software, data, personnel, and facility elements. Model consistent architectures for system of systems, SOS. Analysis, specification, design, and verification of complex systems. Ability to exchange architecture information among related tools. Department of Defense Architecture Framework, DoDAF, 2.02. The Ministry of Defense Architecture Framework, MODAF. Security views from Canada's Department of National Defence Architecture Framework, DoDAF. The North Atlantic Treaty Organization, NATO, Architecture Framework, NAF, v3.1. Core concepts in the AF Domain Metamodel. DoDAF 2.02 Domain Metamodel, DM2. MODAF Ontological Data Exchange Mechanism, MODEM. Scope AF 1.0, Unified Architecture Framework Profile, UAFP. Language extensions supporting Integrated Architecture Description AD. Creating models describing a system or a system of systems, SOS. Set of stakeholders concerns such as security or information. Set of predefined viewpoints and associated views. Developing models with AF and DAF. Complete workflow of systems engineering using the AF framework. Activities of defining capability requirements. Specifying operational scenarios. Solutions for operational scenarios. Managing project portfolios required to implement the selected solutions. Tool vendors. Who should attend? Audience. Enterprise architects. Software engineers. Project managers. Program managers. Data and information modelers. Workshop and more information. Systems Engineering Edition. Business and Software Engineering Edition. Ultimate Edition. Other editions via Active UPDM plugin. Request more information regarding AF Workshop. Learn more about AF Workshop, DoDAF, MODAF, UPDM, NAF. Visit Tonex training website links.